Like somebody that's going to be there to save you.
Right.
And that's another reason why the governments of the world worked on the hologram systems really big time in the last 10 years, so that they can project a human being in the same place around the world like 10, 15, 20 different times, and they look real. So there's a deception. Because the only one that should be able to do that is Christ.
So he's not going to look like a billion.
No, he's not going to look like a billion. No. He's going to look like a beautiful person. Okay, he's going to come that way. That's the only way people are going to listen to him. And the point of it is, too, he's going to have a mesmerizing effect. Even like, now, Hitler was a goofy-looking little guy, okay? And yet he was able to mesmerize people and control their minds.
Right.
Well, the Antichrist is going to do that, too. And even though you think, when you look at it, it might be like a beautiful person, it's completely opposite. Okay, so like I was saying earlier about metaphysics. Okay, one thing I didn't mention on metaphysics was the way demonic magicians use metaphysics.
Right.
And
Chris Angel and all of them, right.
Completely impossible for a human to do. Like pulling a loaf. I saw a magician from China named John pull a loaf of bread out of his little tiny hand. It was 3 foot long, and he broke it in half to eat it.
Chris Angel's a good example of how he
he walks on water just to blaspheme God.
Right.
And he really does.
He does, yeah.
With the help of demonic power. He dematerializes too.
You guys with the cryptozoology, okay? A lot of people here, but they've asked the question, okay? And I know this for a fact that, and it's just not just here, but it's Ohio, the area. Wiccan's becoming extensively big, and a lot of people get in. If I'm wrong, tell me, guys. But they get into Wiccan not knowing what they're doing. Okay, I'm old school. If you got an invisible entity, why in the world would you invite it into our realm? Okay, how do you catch it? What do you? And they say to you, "Well, I can control it." Okay.
They're not satisfied with what God gave them.
Okay.
So they have to reinvent stuff, or they have to go places they're not supposed to go. You know. And that's kind of human nature. It doesn't mean.
Yeah, but this evil stuff, okay? Is any of that associated with cryptozoology at all, Brian? The demonic side of the spiritual warfare?
Just the animals, not
Okay.
Any animal that is undocumented at the moment by science is a cryptid.
Okay.
Now, when you say things are spirits, you have to take into account folklore stories.
Right.
Like the Chinese told of the black and white spirit of the mountain, which turned out to be a panda bear. Some of these things that people say are spirits aren't really spirits at all. They're real flesh and blood animals. And you can't start mixing different things. You can't start throwing in, Wiccans and Loch Ness Monster and this and that, because then you start creating confusion. And you know what? That's when you start getting the fringe element involved. That's when you start getting these people who have these fake websites that start talking about, I was a sorcerer and I conjured up a lake monster, or a lake monster came and spoke to me, okay? You got to try to keep things in perspective, okay, as to what really the essence of the phenomenon is. And like I said, don't start mixing things in there where it shouldn't be.
Now, Doug, if you look at what the Nephilim did, the fallen angels, the various insects, reptiles, lions, bears, humans, angel DNA, where some of the bone structures they find in creatures today would definitely be, say, 110%. That's zoology or whatever. I mean, if something's new coming out of a mix of something, and it's never been discovered, and it really couldn't be discovered because it was never meant to be anyhow. Okay? And so when you put that together, you know, the things that are about ready to come, and they're already experimenting in the laboratories now, making brand new species. Okay, by genetically gene splicing, example, reptiles with insects. You'd be surprised what's coming. And taking human beings and putting them with reptiles.
Are they?
It's already, they have the capability to do, they've already done it. England's did it 15,000 times.
Brian, do you have any knowledge of, I've heard this, where they've taken bone marrow or DNA from a dinosaur and they're trying to recreate these extinct animals?
Because Jurassic Park, you mean?
Right, yeah, right.
That's actually pretty much scientifically impossible. What Michael Crichton theorized in his book Jurassic Park, which was adapted into a movie, using amber, mosquito traps in amber, they pulled the blood out of it. Theoretically, it's possible, but scientifically, not really possible because the DNA is so destroyed, and there's just, you know, they crossed it with frog DNA. That won't work. There's just so much missing. We know so much more now than we did in 1991 when the book came out, in 92 when the movie came out. You're talking hundreds of years of knowledge just in that short time span, and we realize can't do it. Now they are trying to do it with woolly mammoths and other creatures from a closer time where we have animals with skin and muscle still intact, and their DNA is intact. Because you're talking dinosaur bones, it's rock, it's not really bone, it's not DNA, it's no liquid, there's no,
Right. Now the next question comes up, that somebody asked, that ain't here, but I'm recording it, but mermaids. Okay, there was a show on the History Channel or the Discovery Channel showing them, now mind you, I spent a lot of time in that ocean, okay, and I've never seen a mermaid, but is it possible, like the unicorn, we all think the unicorn was a mythological creature, but it wasn't. We know they existed at one time. The mermaid, could it be real? And it's real, and that would be a cryptic animal, right?
Well, first of all, that special on the History Channel, that was a hoax. It was science. The problem is a lot of these shows on the History Channel are scientific fiction. They're meant to entertain people. They're not meant to educate you. And they'll use a lot of fake videos. And like they did the thing of dragons rediscovered.
Right.
I had a neighbor who came to me, did you see that thing on the History Channel? They discovered dragons in a cave in England. Real dragons. Like, dude, that was fake. That was not meant to be taken seriously. And what's the problem with the History Channel? They're getting away from historical fact and they're getting more into entertainment. And you know why? Because entertainment sells and they're looking for ratings. As to what a mermaid, some people said it could be the duma or the sea elephant. Other things people could mistake people in the water swimming as mermaids or mermen. I mean, there's a lot of things as to what it could be. Drunken sailors on a ship. Guys who haven't seen a woman for months. Look at that, I see a woman out in the ocean. And when you're out in the ocean, a lot of times your eyes will play tricks on you.
Oh, it does,
it's like being out in the desert. You'll see a mirage or something.
Right.
You see the same thing in the ocean.
Does anybody here have a question or all? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, with the prevalence of smartphones now, everybody has a camera with them all the time. Are you seeing an increase in photographic evidence of either cryptids or UFOs? And what's the quality of those?
I could say yes and no. You are seeing an increase, but it's mostly increases in hoaxes, misinterpretation. Every time you get a better camera, more pixels, better, it blows up better. Doesn't mean you're getting better pictures or better information. You're just getting more things that are being mistaken for other things.
And today, with modern technology, it's easier to make a hoax photo with digital than back in the day with film. I mean, film, it took an absolute master to be able to create a convincing hoax photograph. Today, with all the technology, you can create one with a computer, a laptop, and certain software. But just because somebody has a photograph, they take it on their phone, doesn't mean it's real. Just because you see it on the internet doesn't mean it's real.
I was just thinking because, a lot of times, like, people see these creatures, well, they don't have a camera with them, but now more and more people do. So, so even though there's more hoaxes,
And that's the problem, sorting out what's real and what's fake. And the problem, hoaxers don't make it easy for people. And they ruin credibility of people who are seriously looking to find out what are these creatures.
Scientifically, I know from AccuWeather, okay, we get every day thousands of pictures, and a lot of them are hoaxes, okay? But yet I always look at it this way. On the Christian side, in the end days, it talks about the Nephilim returning, okay? And it says that we as people are going to be scared to death, okay? Will that happen? I believe the Bible. I also believe science. I believe that science tells us there's a lot out there we don't get. I was with Jacques Cousteau, okay, in the Calypso. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that man, okay? The fact that he believed that mankind has been here 3 generations. I believe the Aleutians were here. Okay, what happened? I don't know. What was that big...
The Aleutians are a chain of islands.
The Aleutians, I call them the Aleutians, okay?
They're
The Atlanteans, yeah.
They do exist.
Yeah,
The
Atlanteans.
and the Japanese fought us over
Right, yeah.
in World War II.
But the Atlanteans, you got me there. The Atlanteans, yeah. But they were there, okay? And throughout history, we know that there's been generations of mankind. And we keep popping up, you know? We can't go back in time. We don't know, but we know that there's a lot of strange things out there. A lot of strange. When Calypso, when Jacques was at Loch Ness, okay, he said, first of all, he doubted that anything could be there. Why? That water is so bloody cold, okay? And we're talking a deep lake, and there's not enough food to support a creature that big, okay? So, who else has questions? Anybody else have questions? Go ahead. Yep. Yeah.
I was wondering what your theories are on like UFO sightings in specific areas. Like they seem to be sighted more in certain areas. And I know that there's the power plants, the power lines. Is there a geologic connection anywhere?
I mean, you can draw any conclusion you want by looking at data. You can skew your data to fit your theory, which is a problem. I see a lot of that in the UFO field. I see it in the ghost field. I see it in cryptozoology as well. But it's theorized about the power plants, nuclear power plants, whether they're spying on us or they're trying to draw energy. I mean, those craft would have to have a lot of power to travel, even if they're doing interdimensional travel, which is theoretical, or bending space-time traveling. But there's really and truly not enough data that we don't know what the real reason, or if there is a reason why they're here, or if they're here. If it's us from the future, we don't know these things.
And it could also be, too, it could also be just power plants and waterways, military bases. These tend to be in heavily populated areas. So you're going to have more sightings over heavily populated areas than, say, in a rural area. So yeah, you'll say, oh, there's more sightings over a power plant or over an airport because you have more people, more witnesses there, more people are observing it. I mean, you don't stick a power plant in the middle of nowhere. And also, too, most towns and cities were founded around rivers and lakes. So, of course, you have higher centers of population, higher sighting rate. So, you really can't jump to a conclusion and say, well, they're interested in our nuclear plants. I mean, you gotta look where they're located at.
Another thing too to consider, it seems like wherever there's a tragedy, like during Fukushima, you all remember that stuff was under constant surveillance because of what was going on every minute. And there was a lot of release of the film of monitoring these plants, and there was quite a few UFOs monitoring that. You can see them, they were right in the sky, looking at, I think they were worried, okay? And same thing happens with that activity in Japan with the volcanoes going off and the earthquake. Almost every time that happened, there was UFO picture because it was under such great surveillance. And so again, I think they're worried, right? And you can look at volcanic activity all over the world, and you're seeing UFOs. It's not that they're drawing something from it or whatever. I think they're worried about us, okay? And why should they? What if they feel we're their little experiment too, okay? So they're just things that are happening. Every traumatic event that's been major on this planet, there's always been some UFO sighting connected to it. Even floods, even hurricanes off the East Coast, the last time we had it, there's always UFO activity. They don't know why, okay? But again, they're watching for some reason. They didn't help with anything. They didn't try to stop the nuclear bombers watching. Even, I remember one time it was near some of the nuclear missile silos out in the Midwest where they were watching these things, and all of a sudden everything was shut down, and they couldn't understand how these things just shut off the military silos with the nuclear weapons there. Okay? And maybe they were worried something was going to go off. I don't know. They just shut down. See, so it seems like on this planet where there's extracurricular activity, even on the sun. I was watching some NASA feeds from their satellites that monitor sunspots. Okay? And you could see on a couple of them, and this was NASA focused in. They said, "What is this?" And it looked like actually the ship of the Anunnaki, okay, that's shaped like an Egyptian bird, backed up towards the sun, like it was draining something from the sun. I don't know what, okay? But that same type of ship was seen about 4 years ago next to Jupiter by NASA and SETI. They took pictures of it. It was a beautiful ship. And they said it's a mothership. They said it's 200 miles wide, and it had two smaller ones. It reminded me of that Will Smith movie, Independence Day. The one was sitting up there. But again, they don't know why, but it was there. And they took pictures of beautiful pictures. You can probably still find them online. And then the last time they saw it was near the sun, and then it disappears. So they're thinking if it does carry the Anunnaki, which are supposed to return for the last days, they could be hiding on the other side of the moon, which we would be seeing, just waiting for the word to come here. Because they're part of the return to Nephilim. So everything's in place already for that.
I just want to point something out, okay? John Keel, the guy who wrote the Mothman Prophecies, spent like 30 years researching the unexplained. He once said in an interview, you know what, you got to be nuts to get into this field. Because you'll spend your life scratching your head going, what the hell did I just see? And you know what, in the end of it all, you're probably not going to find an answer. And years ago, there was a book called The Goblin Universe. And the writer talked about different creatures. And he said, you know what? Maybe it's just something from another dimension that just popped into our realm for a few seconds, leaving us going, what was that? And you know what? Perhaps that creature from another dimension that popped into our realm is going, you know what? I was like sitting in my living room, hanging out, and all of a sudden I was in the middle of this forest with these guys taking pictures of me. Bob, you won't believe what happened. You know what? You got to look at it that way. Maybe things are popping in and out of our universe, and they're just as surprised to see us as we are them. You know what? And nobody knows. We have no proof of what these things are. Are they animals? Are they spirits? I mean, some things we have found out do exist, like the orangutan, the mountain gorilla. But you know, are they Nephilim? I mean, we could sit here and say, I know this, I know that, I saw it on this website, I found out in this book, I read this book. But you know what? We don't have definite proof. We don't have something to show you and say, here, right here. We have our theories, we have our beliefs. But it's up to you. You take everything that's said here with a grain of salt. You pick what you want to believe. Because in the end, that's what truth is. Whatever we want to believe. I mean, that's how we perceive things. And I'm not going to come out and say I know it all. Because I don't. I'll tell you right away. In my presentation, I don't know what these things are. I don't know if the Loch Ness Monster is a giant eel, a giant sturgeon, or a plesiosaur. I can tell you what I think it could be, but doesn't make it true. Bigfoot, what is it? Is it a myth? Is it a primate native to North America? Is it a spirit? Is something from another dimension? I don't know. And that's all I can say. We don't know, but that's why people research. And every year, hopefully we'll find more and more answers. And maybe we can get to finding out what these things really are. That's all I can say about that. Bye.
But you know, the main thing is the freedom to talk about this, and whether we understand or know exactly what it is. I mean, I like the taste of an apple. I don't know, scientifically or anatomically or molecular structure. I don't know how that apple forms, but it tastes good. Okay? So we should have the freedom, obviously, to analyze it, talk about it, bake with it, eat it, whatever. Okay? And see, our brains, really, if you think about it, the amount of brain we use, most of us are not almost everybody's not really intelligent enough to know everything they should know about everything they're doing anyway. Okay? Probably if you did, you'd go nuts. Okay? So the main thing is yeah, take it with a, and what does that mean, take it with a grain of salt? I've heard that so many times. Flavor it up. we just did, huh? So, but the bottom line is it's nice to talk about these things. If there's something that's either going to harm you or hurt you, to know how to use it. Okay? I mean, you may not have ever seen a grizzly bear in your entire life. But if one wanders into the area, you'd want to know about it. And if you like to walk through the woods, you certainly want to know how to protect yourself. Okay? But, you know, you want to say anything else? How about you, Ray?
Since I got involved with investigating the supernatural and everything, the most important thing I learned is how much I don't know. Not how much I know. The more I know, the more I don't know. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
It's sort of the old saying, it's what you learn after you think you know it all is most important. Sure? Yes?
How did each of you gravitate towards your particular field or stuff like?
Mine was personal experience with some very bad things when I was a child. The first one was actually a demonic attack when I was 5 years old. So I wanted to know the difference between good angels and bad angels. And through a lot of study and research and what God put into my life, I'll never forget when I was 5 years old, right when my dad died, this demon, I would call it a demon of sickness, after my father. In the middle of the night, I went to the bathroom, this thing grabbed me, and I screamed bloody murder. My dad comes out of his bedroom and he says, "What's wrong with you?" "This monster grabbed me." "Oh, go back to bed." I said, "Well, what's this?" And I held up my arm, and there was a big black arm print, handprint around my arm. But that was the beginning, and then 1 month later, he died from the rarest form of cancer in the world, called heart cancer. So that's what got me on the trip. And I've had hundreds of experiences after that. Some good, some bad. I mean, I'm talking about some real unusual things. Yeah?
How do you know it was demonic?
How do I know?
Yeah.
Because number one, when it grabbed me, it didn't grab me very nice. And number two, it looked bad, it smelled bad, everything was bad about it. And I made that conclusion after my dad dies. Okay? So how do we judge what's right or wrong? Obviously the activity associated with it. Okay? I had another demonic encounter. I was with a real estate company. I was a vice president. And the president of the company was possessed. Him and his wife. Really possessed. And the demon that possessed him actually pretended to them to be an 8-year-old little girl. And it lived in the mansion they lived. And a story came with it. This little girl fell down the stairway in the house and broke her neck. Now, I went to the house to see this. And I saw the lady would wash the steps, they were clean. And then the prints would come down. The last set of prints had one foot over the other with a trip and broke its neck. Okay? And I touched it, and the hair and back of my neck stood up. I knew this thing was evil. Okay? But it gave David and Sharon powers over people, mental powers, where if they wanted somebody to work in their office, they mentally controlled, they worked for free for them. And I encountered it in their house. I've seen it do things that through other people that they shouldn't have been able to do. And people said things they shouldn't have been able to say. 1 week after that, it came to my house. And I encountered it with the help of Michael the Archangel. And God said to me, that night, David and Sharon were both killed that night. Weirdest thing, they found their car smashed into something. It's in Little Washington, Pennsylvania. Smashed into something. There was nothing there. And their bodies flew through the windshield and were laying in front of the car like in a casket. Slain them. To this day, they don't know how they died. But this demon killed them. And I encountered the demon. And Michael the Archangel taught me a language to use against evil spirits that I encountered to do battle with it. And I did. Now, before this demon left my home in Johnstown, okay, and this is the weirdest thing in the world. It went down to the river, because it couldn't harm me, but it went to the river, took thousands and thousands of river stones, round river stones, brought it into my house in Lower Yoder, rained them all over my vehicle and destroyed my vehicle. Windows busted, everything. The vehicle was just ruined. And then it left. And then the next day, I was wondering, what was it? What happened? And a Jewish guy named Bernie Zimmerbaum called me and started relaying the story about David and Sharon both being killed last night. Okay? So again, I know I've kind of been there, done that, and had a whole bunch of experiences with these things. I wouldn't know how to even talk about that unless I had those experiences.
Do you have any kind of documented proof? Like you said, your car was destroyed and all that. Would you have any photos or?
Well, that was like 40 years ago, so no. I just haven't thrown my vehicle away. I only have liability on my house, so it really didn't matter to me. Back then, I wasn't thinking like, oh, put it in a book for the future, or make a movie. I wasn't thinking that way. I was just thinking I encountered evil, it didn't like it, it ruined my car. Okay. And one thing I was supposed to put into a book, when I was 8 years old, this was after my dad died, I always wanted to go fishing. And I was living at that time in the outskirts of Cleveland, Ohio. And I was praying to God, come out of my window in the middle of the night. And I started praying to God, I want to go fishing. An angel came, I was standing there with my fishing pole. An angel came right next to me, a big one. He grabbed a hold of me. So I remember watching down, took me up in the air, went over a major highway, over the Cuyahoga River, into some swamp area, and brought me down to this little tiny lake. And this is how I know angels are different sizes and different, sets me down. There was a bunch of little angels around this lake, laughing, carrying on, everything else. And the one grabs a crayfish out of the water, and turns the tail and pulls it off, and he puts it on my hook, and he says, throw that in the water. And I did, and I caught the biggest catfish I've ever seen in my life, like this big. Anyhow, I'm reeling in, and all these little angels, they look like kids to me. They all started clapping and laughing and everything. And I reel them in, and the big angel says, we gotta go now. We'll go back up in the air, bring you back over to my house. Outside, I crawled into the bedroom window, forced her to go to bed. Next morning, I tell my mother, she didn't believe me. So I went outside by the window, and I found the fish laying there, and I brought it in the house to have for supper. I mean, it's so many experiences. So I know there's good, I know there's evil, I know there's bad angels, I know there's good angels. What was that? It's kind of like you got to be there to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have that point my whole life. Okay? I was supposed to die in an airplane crash. God showed me the angels that kept me from dying. I was coming out of Honolulu, Hawaii, the 70s. Everybody on the plane was supposed to die. Okay? A week before this, they made a movie about the plane, United Airlines, coming out of Honolulu. And the top flew off, stewardesses went out, people went out. The miracle was the pilot was able to land that plane. When I was there 2 weeks later, the plane started coming apart in the air. Another United Airlines, a 757. Okay? Everybody started panicking on the plane. And the pilot was saying how he's leaving out the fuel, basically so when we hit the water, the plane doesn't explode. And they were turning white, these people. And then God said, look, and he showed me on each wing, he put a large angel on each wing. He says, tell him. So I stood up, everybody was going nuts on the plane. And I said, for the glory of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, you won't die. Okay? And I told him. The plane was going down to hit the water. The angel stopped it, they turned the plane around, brought us, there was no fuel, brought us back into the Honolulu airport and landed us. We got off and all our jaws were hitting the ground and they looked at the back of the plane. There was a big slice in the plane where a blade on the jet broke off and sliced the plane open. And then we disembarked, and again, I hope their faith got stronger. And then we got on another plane and came towards the Chicago area. So, yeah, sometimes you got to be there. Any other questions? Any? Good. Well, thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. What's that?
Because it's a weary bone.
It's a weary bone. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. What's that? Okay, just a minute. Hold on.
Total darkness. Total
When was this?
I wrote it down. It was weird. I'm dead. This is what it is to be dead. It just shook me.
And you say your daughter had the exact same dream?
Yes.
Same time? God obviously giving a message to those of you for some reason. There's something that's connecting you like that that's not good. It's something that could be happening. It's bad.
Well,
Did you go
is there such a place?
Well, I don't really think there's one in particular. I think if God is going to call you home, that, yeah, there are angels. I mean, I've heard of people in hospital rooms looking up and seeing these angelic forces in their room right before they pass on. Well, it could also be a warning. Sometimes God will give us warnings like that. If there's something going wrong with your health, your finances, your life in some way or another, and it's just a matter of searching, doing some soul searching, finding out what is it that I'm doing that maybe God doesn't like, what should I change in my life, even physically, whether it be physically or money, how it's handled, or whatever. And see, I'm not planning where I see that. I'm going to not how you plan your future. Did you take my email before? And I'm talking about I analyze their life. I look at their, myself in particular, my main concern, especially for like, say your future wealth. What is going to take your money from you? Okay? What's going to destroy your future, say social insecurity is not here? Okay? What can happen if your health fails? What happens if you have to go into a nursing home and eat all your state you have a love in your life to receive your mind and stay? So I look at all these things. The deeper and deeper I get into that, the more scripturally I get into it. I started doing the planning where I started the scriptures and then events. I used the Bible decoder to even if somebody's dead, where I was able to warn them. And even with NASA, I decoded space shuttles twice and told them come on the space shuttle where the wing was broken, so it wouldn't break. And then they took 2 days and fixed it. So I've got tools. The devil's job is to scare you. First he wants you to lose your faith, okay? And then sometimes he'll have answers. Well, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people think, well, God, why are you allowing this to happen to me? Okay? So it's good to strengthen yours. The bottom line is always remember when you first go into prayer and then talk to somebody that can help you, like myself, just to talk about it and analyze things. And if there's another door you should go into right now, maybe with all the information that you gather, and straighten certain things out, that you could be after you. Won't be able to finish it. Because man, if you're a person of God, they'll hate you. They'll try to destroy you in all kinds of ways. But Deborah, give me a holler and an email. I'm in the middle of town. If you want to come in one day and we can talk, that's fine too. What's your first name?
Linda.
Nice to meet you, Linda. We will talk some more.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Let me find your bag. Get put up?
No.
Okay.
4 chairs, come over here and get an idea of what I'm doing.
Hey guys, is that how you found, is that when they stack like that when we came
No,
here?
they go in here.
Is that where how you found, is that how we found it?
Right, right.
Okay, okay.
So there's 4 chairs per table.
4 chairs per table.
All the other ones come from in there?
Yeah, all the other ones go in here.
Okay. How you doing, Phil? How you feeling?
Oh, just kind of wore out right now.
Sit down.
cream cheese. Or the, like, your, the cream, the cheese, and then the cream cheese.
This one's not too heavy. This one isn't much.
Okay, I'll throw them out tomorrow.
And these 4 chairs.
Yeah, I know you are. You need help?
Watch out, please, I'm going to yell.